This is KVUE News Daybreak.
Good Thursday morning. Tropical storm Cindy making landfall this morning on the Texas-Louisiana border. The storm has already caused flooding in some Gulf Coast cities.
The National Weather Service saying this morning Cindy could cause life-threatening flash floods. Texas's State Operations Center has been put in a state of increased readiness.
Again, good morning to you. Thanks for joining us for KVUE News Daybreak. It's 5 a.m. I'm Brian May.
And I'm Yvonne Nava. It is Thursday, June 22nd. Let's go straight to Erica Lopez, who is tracking the storm for us this morning. Erica.
Hey there, good morning, guys. Well, an active morning it has been as Tropical Storm Cindy made landfall. Now slowly losing steam, though. Once this system gets on land, it has no moisture to work with, so nothing to fuel the storm any greater. And that's why wind speeds sustained are now at 40 rather than 45, where we were a couple of hours ago. Moving still north. No, it was taking a northwest turn. Now we're expecting it to slightly move to the east. So that's going to lessen our impacts here in central Texas. But what we are seeing are still lots of flooding concerns out south. So here we are. As it does remain a tropical storm right now and continues to move north, it's going to lose its steam and become a depression within the next several hours. Still, though, tropical storm warnings in effect, they have lessened a lot of those warnings because the conditions continue to improve and wind speeds continue to lessen in strength. 20 to 30% chance of some showers for us today here in central Texas. Mainly the eastern counties have the best chance of rain, and the reason for that, as this system continues to migrate north, notice the outskirt of the western bands. We could just see little moderate to light pockets of rain. Nothing severe whatsoever. Something we will really see will be some high-level clouds out there in the sky. Hey, but we're talking better rain chances for this weekend and also a major cool down. You guys are going to love what I have to talk about in the full forecast. Back to you.
All right, thanks. Well, Gulf Coast residents are keeping a close eye on that storm.
ABC's Marcia Gonzalez in Louisiana with what it looks like there now.
With pounding rain and wind gusts up to 65 miles an hour. The first tropical system to make landfall this season is hitting the Gulf Coast. The effects now being felt across 5 states.
I think everyone is pretty prepared, for the worst.
In places prone to flooding, Tropical Storm Cindy's bringing the expected, already leaving parts of Grand Isle, Louisiana, and this neighborhood in Galveston, Texas, underwater.
It could be worse. And that's a good thing because I've been through quite a few of them.
With voluntary evacuations ordered for some low-lying areas, elsewhere, storm-hardy Southerners with sandbags ready and supplies bought are riding out this storm.
You know, we made a thing out of it. Okay, everybody in one room, we're going to, bring the water, bring the lanterns, bring everything.
Tropical Storm Cindy's already blamed for at least one death, a 10-year-old boy hit by a log picked up by the storm surge on an Alabama beach. A state of emergency declared in Alabama and Louisiana. There and across the storm zone.
I've never seen the waves this big.
Concerns of flash flooding, power outages.
Bolivar is notorious for losing electricity.
And tornadoes, with the leading edge of this storm filled with funnel clouds and one already possibly touching down in the Florida Panhandle.
Thank God nobody was hurt. Yeah, this is terrible.
And that risk of tornadoes continues throughout today and into tomorrow as the storm makes its way inland. Marcia Gonzalez, ABC News, Lake Charles, Louisiana.
And areas southeast of Houston are seeing a lot of rain from Tropical Storm Cindy. Our team coverage continues with Melissa Correa, who is just south of NASA's Johnson Space Center.
It seems a lot of folks are heeding the warnings associated with Tropical Storm Cindy. We're the only ones out here along the Kemah Boardwalk. You can see that boaters have tied up their vessels, and we've been talking to police in the area who say they're now ready for boosted patrols, boosted calls, just in case of emergency, in case small things like power goes out in the area. Now, it's been steady rainfall since about 2 this morning, with heavier spurts coming down every so often or so. We just got word from the National Weather Service a tropical storm warning for at least a trio of counties here in the Houston area was just canceled, so that's good news. But it is bound to be a messy morning with rain and wind in the mix. It's likely to affect Houston traffic and folks' flights in and out of the Houston area. So if you're traveling in and out of the southeast today, expect possible delays. Reporting from the Kemah Boardwalk, I'm Melissa Correa. Now back to you.
And we will be keeping an eye on Cindy throughout the morning. And as always, you can keep track of the radar with the KVUE app. Our KVUE meteorologists are always updating information there to keep you informed.
In other news, at 5:04 this morning, Senate Republicans expected to reveal their health care bill today. After weeks of closed-door meetings, some lawmakers concerned about how the legislation will handle issues like pre-existing conditions and Medicaid funding. Lawmakers expected to vote on the bill sometime next week. Lawmakers on Capitol Hill investigating Russia's meddling in the U.S. election. Yesterday, they heard from former President Obama's Homeland Security Secretary, Jeh Johnson.
The Russian government, at the direction of Vladimir Putin himself, orchestrated cyber attacks on our nation. That is a fact, plain and simple. As I think I stated in one
As Johnson says, one of the DHS's top priorities is stopping the Russians from getting into election machines.
I was very concerned about what I was seeing, and this was on my front burner all throughout the pre-election period to encourage the states to come in and seek our assistance.
He told senators Russia tried to hack into election systems of nearly 24 states, but there's no evidence showing the votes were changed in the 2016 presidential election.
An Austin police sergeant is suing Ford for at least $1 million. The lawsuit says Sergeant Zachary LaHood was poisoned by carbon monoxide gas inside his Ford Explorer police unit in March. He passed out while driving and almost hit an oncoming bus. The lawsuit alleges Ford knew about an exhaust problem but failed to let the public know. It also says Leif Johnson Ford in Austin serviced the vehicle but failed to fix the defects. In a statement, Ford Motor Company says in part, quote, "We take the safety of our customers very seriously. We have thoroughly investigated reports of exhaust odor and do not believe this odor condition poses a safety risk." In the case of police interceptors, odors can be caused by non-Ford modifications or repairs that were not properly sealed. Leif Johnson Ford, near in Austin, had no comment yesterday.
Officials in Marble Falls are asking for help finding a missing person this morning. Police say 30-year-old Regina Lewis went missing Monday. Last seen wearing a pink shirt and blue jeans. There have been several reports she was trying to find a ride to the Austin area. Police do believe she may be in danger due to a medical condition. If you see Lewis, please call the number at the bottom of your screen.
Well, happening today, the Austin City Council is expected to take a final vote on a smoking ordinance change. The council has asked to add e-cigarettes to its list of tobacco products covered by city ordinances. This means e-cigs would be banned in parks, restaurants, bars, and other public areas. The council meeting starts at 10 o'clock this morning. The first day of summer brought some terrible heat to the Southwest. Heat records were shattered in multiple cities yesterday, and hundreds of people had to evacuate their homes as several wildfires tore through California and Arizona. Hundreds of flights have been delayed, and the pavement has been so hot in Phoenix that pets have to be fitted with protective shoes just to go outside. And now let's take a look at our forecast, see what we're dealing with. Here's Erica.
Yeah, well, we're not dealing with extreme heat, that's for sure. We are lucky to not be on the western half of the nation where an area of high pressure continues to dominate. That's where excessive heat warnings and heat advisories are still in effect. Forecasted highs today for Phoenix, still 111. Those excessive heat conditions are continuing into the weekend. About mid to upper 90s is our forecasted high here. But, of course, the big story is Tropical Storm Cindy. Still considered a tropical storm with wind speed sustained at 40 miles an hour. Has continued to lessen strength as Cindy did make landfall a couple of hours ago along the Texas-Louisiana border, but still heavy rain continuing to pound the south and still a tropical storm warning. Lake Charles, you're included in that as that system pushes north. We're going to get some spotty showers that are possible for the outskirts of the western part of that system. 20 to 30% chance of showers. Here's the reason why. Notice by late morning into the early afternoon, a couple of bands of showers could roll through our area. We're definitely going to see lots of high-level clouds for central Texas, but that's really the only effects we're going to see and feel here in central Texas. So as far as temperatures go and what we can expect, well, we're talking a couple degrees above average for today. Temperatures should top out in the mid-90s, about 95. Right now, as you're heading out the door, it's not too bad, though. 64 in Enchanted Rock, 74 for Marble Falls, closer to 80 degrees for Austin and ABIA at 78 degrees. As far as the eastern counties, 77 for Giddings, and 77 for Cedar Creek. So the big story, Cindy, obviously right now, but I think you guys are going to love this weekend's forecast. We're talking a temperature drop of about 10 degrees and also some rain this weekend. I'll talk about it in the full forecast. As for now, let's get an update with Anna Beat on traffic.
Thank you, Erica. Good Thursday morning to you out there. If you're just waking up with us and you're about to head out the door, just know that I-35 is looking really good. Roads are open and clear this morning, so no major concerns. And that's the trend for most of the Austin metro area. No major crashes to report this morning, so thumbs up there. Just keep in mind construction between 2nd Street and 18th Street on Guadalupe and Lavaca bus lanes, bus lanes. You'll have some spot repairs there. And again, that's between 2nd Street and 18th Street, and it's all due to just high bus traffic in that area. Let's go ahead and give you some drive times. I-35 northbound Vita to downtown, 14 minutes, 16 minutes. I-35 southbound Round Rock to downtown. Brian, back to you.
Thanks, Anna V. Cowboys owner Jerry Jones has a whole new appreciation for the Hail Mary today. The NFL Hall of Famer was one of 41 people to have a private audience with Pope Francis yesterday. Jones is on a trip overseas with other members of the NFL Football Hall of Fame. He says it was great to meet Pope Francis.
Had him have a recognition of what football, what pro football is, the ethos behind it, and just a magical day.
Pope Francis closed the meeting by blessing the entire NFL. This is what I hear from my sources, huge Cowboy fan. Huge.
I'm sure.
Cowboy fan.
I'm sure they had a little.
My sources tell me.
They played a little flag football outside right after.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. Well, still ahead, there's more ticks than ever this summer, and they're promoting yet another warning.
That's right. The allergic reaction they're causing and the symptoms you need to know about. And what's the problem with parking in downtown Austin? What isn't the problem? What city officials say is causing the biggest issue? That's coming up. Stay with us.